Hey.
All right.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got me.
Okay, so the gang's all here. Everybody,
Woo-hoo.
welcome. We got Lloyd Brunson and Julie DeFloater and Michelle Peterson. All right.
How you doing, Julie?
Hey, wonderful, honey, and thank you so much for the information you shared. Michelle and I met each other just a couple of weeks ago, and holy wow, we
Yes.
were already networking and helping others find resources to assist in the topic that she just got done interviewing you with there, Denise. So Denise, Michelle, thank you very much for
Oh,
this
you're
great
welcome.
information. It helps them.
You're
Yes.
welcome. Good.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Very.
funny. Yeah. Getting to know everybody. It's amazing. So
It's like famous squares. We got a Hall of Famer. And
I know.
us like,
we need someone in the center square.
it's like the Brady Bunch.
Exactly.
The
Okay,
Brunson
so
brunch.
Michelle, look to your left. Lloyd, look to your right.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Brady
Hi,
Bunch grid.
Lloyd.
Yeah, see, Julie got
Oh,
it.
wrong way. Hi, Lloyd.
Wait, did I say it the wrong way?
Yes, you did.
I always do that. Okay, Lloyd, look up. Michelle, look up. We'll look
Right.
down.
Hi, Denise.
That we got.
Oh, that's so funny.
hi up there.
Right?
Over there.
So
So
funny.
now you were in Brunson. Did you see Barry? Speaking of the Brady Bunch, did you see Barry Williams' show? He's got a famous show Branson.
In Branson?
Yes,
Really?
he has a one-man show, Barry Williams in Branson. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, I was telling her how you allowed me to crash your dinner, though, Lloyd.
no.
I love that.
Yeah, that
was
was
so
great.
fun.
That was great.
It
You
was
met
so
Jay,
fun.
and I told him I met Donnie. That's
Yeah.
Donnie.
Donnie.
Donnie was great. Donnie has such great personality. He really does. So when we got, he performed in St. George Theater, and we had backstage passes because my friends John and Lana are very close to him. They actually got married because of him. They were in Vegas, and they were out eating and drinking, and Donnie says to them, "When are the two of you going to get married?" And they're like, "Yeah, one of these days." He goes, "Oh, you should get married." And they said the next day he was knocking on the hotel door, and he was all dressed in a suit. And they're like, "What are you doing?" "Come on, we're going to go marry you two." And they did. They were in Whitechapel,
Wow.
and
That
he was his best man, and they got married.
That would
So-
do it.
Yeah, they got to be very friendly.
I've been looking forward to visiting with you guys. So,
Yes,
yay.
this is going to be an exciting show.
Mhm.
All right, so I want to introduce Lloyd Brunson. So Lloyd Brunson, most people don't know, is a trumpeter. Yes, come from a whole family, the Brunson brothers. Yes, can you
If you
give
say
us a
so.
little? If I say
Sure, why not? Okay. Yeah.
Can you give us
Play
a little
along,
background,
Lloyd.
like how
It's okay.
how this all began for you and your brothers?
Oh, was that a question?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, it all began?
Can you share? Like, how did this all start?
Oh, you mean how did the music thing start?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Okay, I'll try to condense it.
3 minutes or less. No, I'm kidding. No.
Okay, well, my three younger brothers, they're like quite a, like 3 years difference between me and the oldest of the younger three. And they didn't like going to school. My father was a school teacher. So they were skipping school. They're pretty independent kids and hard to control. And so, as a matter of fact, my father was even hauled in with a subpoena, like, Child Protection Services or something, because they were sloughing so much school.
Wow.
And so he decided that they'd better get busy and do something. So they came up with a plan that they would study and get their GED because they wanted to get it out of the way. They didn't like school. It's like if they had to do it, they wanted to get it done. So they decided to study really hard and get their GEDs, I think, before they were even teenagers, high school diploma, and then go on from there. And so they studied. The way I understand it, maybe my brothers would correct me, but this is the way I understand it, is they were all ready to go. And I think they even took the tests and whatever, and they were like passing with flying colors. And the district decided not to let them do it because they were too young. So that really ticked him off.
Wow.
And so my dad really, he sat him down and said, I don't think he was serious. I think he sat him down and he said, he convinced them that their lives were now their responsibility. And he was washing his hands of them because they wouldn't do what he said. And I remember the transition where they went to, oh, you know, we get away with stuff to, oh my gosh, now whatever we do has consequences and we're responsible for our futures. I don't know how this happened, but it's really, I remember that transition where they got really serious about, oh my gosh, it's up to us now. We don't have any parents, kind of, right? And so the plan was that they decided that they were going to become the world's greatest trumpet players. And so my mom bought them some instruments that were supposed to be new and they were used. And my father took them all back to the store when he realized what she had done. He thought, oh no, I'm not going to spend all this money for instruments, and they'll just happen. You know, they'll just get tired of it, and it'll be a waste of money, and it's going to be noisy. And so he took the instruments back, and the owner of the store knew my brothers, and I had played a little trumpet before in the high school band, something, junior high band or something. I can't remember what. And so he convinced my dad that we had talent, and so he says, I have some new instruments, and he pulled 4 brand new box Stradivarius trumpets off the shelf that were still in wrappers and cases, and handed them to my dad. And my dad says, I can't pay for these. And he says, no, you just you take them and you pay just what you can when you can, and your boys will be performing up and down the state. So that got us going. And then my brothers decided that in order to bypass, school and all that they hated, that they would become the world's greatest trumpet players. So I remember the 2 of them, Roland and Gaynor, would be practicing like early in the wee hours of the morning. And I remember there was no heat upstairs. It was in Utah. There's no heat upstairs. And so it's like we had these blankets like this thick. And
Right.
And I remember they'd be practicing in the closet. I remember one time going over into the room where they were and opening the closet door, and a big wall of steam came out. It's like, basically, they're like looking at me like, what do you want? They were practicing this called Arbans. They were practicing what professionals practice and work on for session work, where you really have to, Arbans, you can play anything. And so they were kids like practicing like they were going to be professional trumpet players as soon as possible. That's kind of how it started. Then we started performing and stuff like that. They wrote me into the other. So that's how we got going on the music stuff. But and then the lawsuit and constitutional stuff, came later.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that. Before we do, I just want to show everybody this little video montage I put together of the Brunson brothers.
Hello, Mr. Carson. We're here to give you a musical salute on your birthday.
Every year, 500 million people in 27 countries get goosebumps as our next guests kick off the Tournament of Roses parade. So please welcome back again this year.
Ooh, I just got
Did you get a little goosebump?
Ooh, a little tremor, yes.
And they are the Brunson brothers, and they'll blow this place apart.
I had, who do I have on the other day with the trumpet? Oh, Jonah Jones. Oh, sure, one of the great old trumpet players. I couldn't make a sound out of his trumpet. I tried. I blew, and I strained, and everything. Nothing came.
Do you want to learn how to play the trumpet?
I'd love it if you could teach me.
Well, why don't you come on over here?
He's the best teacher in the world.
Yeah, I'm a great teacher. Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to make a buzz sound from your lips. Like, see it. All right, great. The next step is a mouthpiece. I have one for you.
Is this clean mouthpiece?
You bet. It's never been
Brand
used.
new.
There's a lot going around these days.
It's never been used. In fact, when we get done, we're gonna frame it when we get home.
Okay, that's a mouthpiece.
And you press it like this against your lips, and you have to blow hard, kind of press hard. Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's good. Here, hold my
Better
trumpet.
than I can do.
Okay, now the tongue is important. Before you start playing, you use your tongue to start out the note. There's a single tongue, ta 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 ta. There's the double tongue, which is twice as fast, ta ka 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 ta.
Got it so far.
And then there's the triple tongue, three tongues, ta ta ka 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 ta ta ka.
I met her years ago. Just a little humor. Well, the wife isn't here.
Oh, but
Okay.
all right,
So-
you can do that the other way around, though. You can take the double tongue and accentuate the tongue, curve the double tongue every other time, making the ta sound, the can, the ka sound, the ta. So instead of you can go.
That's the one I want to do.
Well, yeah.
He's weird.
All right, he's ready to play. He's ready to play.
That's awesome. Ooh.
This hour is sponsored by the UNESCO Corporation. With us next are Michael W. Smith, Milt Tillis, Wise Guys, Jim Byrne.
And Dave Boyer and Ralph Carmichael and his orchestra. Now your host, Pat Boone, and his co-host, the beautiful Mary Friend, and Rob Weller.
That's it. No.
That was awesome.
Wow. What's
Awesome.
Very cool.
awesome?
And a fun fact that I found out, they call the Brunson, at the end of every note, you go, whoop, right? You know what I'm talking about? And they call that the Brunson.
It's called boredom.
That's great.
Yeah, that was in The Incredibles, I guess. They did
Cool.
it in The Incredibles soundtrack.
Oh,
That's
wow.
awesome. That's awesome.
That
That's
is
great.
awesome.
So which one were you? Who was
hair.
the one with the really long hair? Was that you, Lloyd?
Not the bushy hair.
Oh, okay.
No.
But I was
Were you
usually
to the
on
right of him?
I was usually on the left if you're watching it. And I was the one that said, "Hello, Mr. Carson. We're here to give you a musical salute on your birthday." I was
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome.
Oh, that was amazing.
That was amazing.
I hadn't
Still
seen that in a long time.
performing? Do you guys are you touring? Do you still perform together?
No, we haven't played in a long time.
Oh,
maybe
God,
we-
you
maybe
You
we'll. Well, there's we've been talking about it for a long time, so maybe we'll do something. Apparently, there's Gaynor is the main music guy, and he says that he has some connection with something that's going to force us to practice. So we'll see what that is.
There you go. Ah.
Trump's inauguration.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'd be there for that.
That's
Absolutely.
where I went. That's where I
There
went.
you go.
Definitely. Yeah, it'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Cool.
So take us to the current time now. What you're involved in with the
Okay.
fight with.
Okay, so the last 12 or 14 years, I've been studying the Constitution after I heard Barack Obama violate his oath of office by saying that the foundation of the Constitution was fundamentally flawed. Basically, America was flawed and the Constitution was flawed. And that got me going to, I thought I'd better read the Constitution. I really hadn't read it all the way through in one sitting, and I don't know if I'd ever read it all the way through. So I started reading it, and I really got discouraged. Oh, gosh, it's like, But I kept pushing along, and finally I started finding things. And when I got to the President's Oath, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I mean, we know that he swore to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. But when you're reading the document and you see those words there, and you realize that he swore an oath to uphold and defend that, and then he did the opposite. Wow. And so that was the beginning. And so I kept reading and just connecting dots. And finally, I felt like I had discovered things that all the other constitutional scholars knew and understood.